You are all just outside of this tomb, having declared the names of the two dogs of Sir Chide. And so here you are. Okay.
We made it through the room, and this is on the other side.
Yeah, you declared the names of the two dogs of Sir Chide. And so, as soon as you did that, they bowed in submission to you and turned, which pulled the chains and opened the door. And you see on the other side a circular chamber with a vaulted circular ceiling, a tomb, and a sarcophagus. But the sarcophagus is open, a stone coffer. And you can see that there is an ancient skeleton inside with many adornments, including a ring and a sword. But you also see something else. Kneeling on the floor against the far wall, a semi-transparent azure pale person. They look thin and drawn with age, armored with a helmet, a helm visor raised. They look maudlin, like they're longingly looking up at this picture of a woman. And they're kneeling before the portrait. And as the stone doors pull open, you see this. You see him rise to his feet and turn around and look at you surprised. This is a ghost. What do you do? I'm going to toss it over to Cosmo. What do you think?
Seeing the possible ghost thingamabob on the other end, and then there's a sword and a ring towards the center of the room, was it?
There's a stone coffer with a skeleton in the center of the room. The skeleton laying within with a sword, a ring on its hand. The sword is, on its chest, and it's got other jewelry as well. And then between the coffer to the north and a wall that shows a woman on a painting. He's kneeling before the figure, and then as soon as the store doors open, you see this, he rises and turns and looks at you with a surprised expression.
I'm getting hollered down to the two below me. I'm going to say,
I think they have you on a rope, right? Because you're floating.
I'm tethered to Hannibal. Hannibal? It seems like we might have ran into someone, but we don't know who. High chance it's possibly the person in the mural or the poem.
Yes. Yeah.
He points a gauntleted finger at you all. He says, "Hark! After all of these centuries, my tomb is opened and visitors have come. Be you not tomb robbers?"
No, not tomb robbers. Not here to rob anything from this tomb. We're merely curious. Who are you?
Lo, visitors sent by the light. I am in need of your aid, and I believe it is that has sent you here now. I need you to reunite me to my love and end my long torment across the centuries. And you can see behind him the portrait of this woman in your torchlight. It's a portrait of a fair maiden with long flowing blonde hair and a white robe. There is a star upon her brow, perhaps a tiara or something, or maybe an actual star, who knows. And anyways, she stands in the portrait amid a circle of stones that are grimed with dust, aged and damp. You think that this portrait's probably worth 1,500 gold pieces.
Friend, may I ask your name, and is this beautiful woman the love you speak about? And I point to the portrait.
He takes his gauntleted hand and holds it over his ghostly body and bows lightly in a chivalrous and knightly manner, and he says, I was known in life as Sir Chide, Knight of the Order of Arthur, of the one true king of this land. I fought in the War of Faerie. And he steps away and he holds his hand up to the portrait. But lo, I committed a great sin, to which now even I am bound. I fell in love with a fairy maiden, and so now I am bound here between this thin place forever.
It's very, very good to meet you, Sir Chide. I've heard much about you. So you fell in love with a fairy maiden, and now you're stuck here. And you wish to be reunited with her. Do I have that right?
I served my king well in life. He forgave me this transgression. But it was not so with my love's father, for he was the commander of every evil elf on the other side. The Cold Prince, he was called. She was the 16th daughter. He locked her away in a tower in the other world. She gave me this ring. He points to his skeletal body. This ring binds us together for eternity. Sadly, with her separate from this ring, we can never be bound together in spirit. And I am trapped here in this tomb, in my ghostly state.
Cosmo, I would look up to Cosmo, and then I'm sorry, what is the other character's name?
Bart.
Bart?
Butterfingers Bart, to be precise.
Butterfingers Bart. I would look up, I would bring Cosmo closer, kind of like reel her in, and I would put my arm around Bart and say, so
Don't
what do
touch,
you
remember?
That's right.
Anything I
what do you
touch floats, or seems lighter so far.
And I would keep Cosmo at a safe distance to not touch, and I'd say, what do you two think about this?
I would say unite the two. Have them be able to be in peace. Wouldn't you think?
Seems like a idea. So we know he's here, but we don't know where she is.
Are you in armor? You
That's
have
a
armor.
good question.
Yeah,
I'm just checking.
Leather armor, I think it is.
Yes. Yeah, I have leather armor.
Is Hannibal Crumwaller a sort of a scoundrelly sort, since he knows how to use leather armor and blade, or is he a what's his alignment actually?
So it is neutral.
Neutral, a scoundrel then. So
A bit of a scoundrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You speak like thieves can't, and yeah. So Sir Chide looks at you and says something that you've never heard in your life. He says, You also look like one who has sworn his sword to a cause. You look like the knightly sort. You've never heard anything like that before.
My heart starts racing, and my eyes get a little bigger, and I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm getting very full of myself right now, and I want him to, to keep going.
I know I think a way to reach her. I believe my true love waits for me at the bottom of this tomb. The stairs near the entrance. If you go down, there's an undercroft. That sacred grove there. I believe she has waited for me. I do not believe she would have left. If you can bring her my ring, we will be united with our souls together for eternity.
Sir Chide, we would be honored to bring your love, your ring, and unite you both for eternity. We would like nothing more.
Very well. And he glides in a ghostly way over to his tomb, to the coffer, and he motions to the hand that holds the blade, and you see a ring with a bronze band set with a moonstone. Its fittings in the form of woven branches. You must go downstairs. There I believe my true love waits.
Could we examine the ring?
Yeah, it looks just like what I said. I don't think there's anything else remarkable about the ring that you see. It's on a skeletal hand. You do also see that his wrists, there are copper bracelets engraved with owls. Their eyes are amethysts. You think that the bracelets each are probably worth 1,000 gold pieces. And then there's a gleaming blade. You also see silver candlesticks along the floor, standing about 4 feet tall, tarnished and blotchy. You think each one of them, of which there are many, would probably be worth 200 gold pieces each.
Cosmo and
whispers to
Butterfinger.
Hannibal. Why don't we aid him, and once his spirit is put to rest, then we may come back and take what we would like while no one's watching.
Aid ourselves.
One moment. Excuse me. By chance, if we do take your ring to your beloved, how will she know that we're with you, trying to bring you to her?
As soon as she sees this ring, she will know. My soul is bound to it.
But if we can't get to the ring right away out of our pockets, or it could have vice versa get dropped or something while we search for it.
You misunderstand Snowfall at dusk. She will know.
Okay.
Sir Chide, can you give us any tips? I imagine that the journey to the bottom is going to be just as arduous as the journey to get to you. Anything you could tell us to aid us would be much appreciated.
Whatever the light puts in your path is there for your benefit. For the salvation of your soul. He's been here like 500 years. He doesn't know what's outside of this tomb.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're going to be going blind down the stairs. Well, you two are. I'm going to be floating above them.
with infravision.
Did either of you want to do anything else in this room, or do you wanna get going?
One of you two grab the ring. I can't grab it, for goodness sakes. It might float up to the ceiling if there is. For goodness sakes. Don't want that to happen.
No, I think we are okay. I say let's just help him get rid of the spirits, and then come back and loot everything in sight. You know.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So I'll reach my hand out and, or excuse me, I'll put my hand out to take the ring from Sir Chide.
All right, it's on his skeletal hand. It's not on the ghost. So you pull it off the
Oh,
skeletal
excuse me.
hand.
Yes, I apologize. I would pull it off of the skeletal hand.
Okay, you do that, and then you just hear, "Reunite me with my love," and then like he just disappears. The ghost dissipates, and you now have the ring. Do you all remember how to get to the stairs?
I do.
You do? Okay. So, what do you think? I'll just put you back there then. To the one you know, and you can change it. Like, you can go to a different one, but I'll follow the path back. So here you are.
Okay, remember this room, can't look up straight up. We have to go along the left side of the wall, ring around, and if we see Nate's lovely petrified self on the floor, we're near the entrance of the next hallway. Do remember, we will get pelted by you know what. Then
All
to
right.
our left, we should have the staircase from that pelting room of inanimate objects.
No, not the one leaving the tomb.
Not leaving?
Yeah,
Ooh.
but
Don't
going
know.
deeper.
Oh no, we don't.
Oh,
We know
okay.
this room where the guards are.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
All right. In that case,
We didn't see that, sadly.
you'll have to find it. All right. Where do you go? Butterfingers. You're in the tomb. When you look back, Butterfingers, from where you came into the tomb, you see a long rectangular chamber, the center of which is lined with a series of pillars, of stone pillars. On either side, immediately entering that room, are those big stone dogs who have turned outward and then bent down in a kind of a gesture of submission, perhaps. And as well, in that room, you see that there's a door leading into where the dancing jelly skeletons are. And there are two hallways, two corridors to the left and right. What do you think, Butterfingers?
Well, if from what I remember, we went through the left hallway, and that's where we. But there was also more to that hallway, so I would say let's go over there. I think there's another door that we forgot about.
Okay. You go back through that hallway into the room. You don't see any doors. Now, Butterfingers, you did search this room. And you did not find any doors in this room. The hallway ahead leads into a circular chamber, which your companions have told you not to look in the corner of and to keep your eyes averted down to the floor away from. The statues in this room, they all have gleaming weapons, all still in excellent condition. In particular, a longsword has a shiny gleam to it. And there's mold patches all along the walls here, both yellow and purple. And a faded battle mural.
Well, it seems like we went in a circle, you guys. Because we got the one room that we've all been through building and objects. We got the other room that Necrotic. We went through there to see the armory. Or, well, the statues holding weapons. Maybe it has something to do with the weapons, because none of you two have seen any other stairs. Hannibal or Cosmo, right?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Did you ask if we saw any other stairs?
Yeah.
I think it's
Is that
there's some
better?
kind of there's some kind of connection issue in this case. It's warbling.
Yeah,
Yeah, may have
that's
to.
why I took off my camera to make sure it's not on my end. And it's still on your end, Mo.
Alright, let me see here. I'll try and fix it.
If you reconnect it, maybe it'll help. I don't know. But anyways, Glenn was saying, Butterfingers was saying that it seems like a circle so far going this way, right? Because if you keep going, you'll go back to the room with the entrance and the things that pelt
Tumbling
you.
and objects.
Yeah, as far as going this way. And then he suggested maybe it had something to do with the weapons.
If I remember right, Bart did warn us to not disturb the mold, just in case anything can happen. But we should check more out in this room to make sure we have it cleared and see if we can find a way down.
Now, the last time you were in this room, did everyone check the room? I don't think so. I think it was just Bart checking for traps, right?
Yes.
So you could spend 10 minutes doing a search of the room if you want.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
I'll search towards the top of the room while you two search the bottom.
Okay.
And Hannibal, remember, I'm connected to you.
All right, you all spend the next 10 minutes searching the room. 30 more minutes of dungeon time has passed total since you left the tomb of Sir Chide, or his actual coffer. You don't see any doors, entrances, changes in the room. There doesn't seem to be any other notable features about this room. The only thing that you note, and this is something that Cosmos notes, is as you check the statues of the footmen, they're all of dark stone, smooth and finely carved. Some of the weapons are moldy at least on their handles and on the cross guards, and you can see it's some bits of mold on the statues, but for some reason the longsword has no mold on it.
Well, I mean, if no one else wants to try it, Bart wants to go try grab that long sword.
All right. How do you? So the statue is just holding the longsword like down, like stoically. What do you do? Actually, I'm gonna say it's holding it up, like this, though. And it's just holding it straight up.
The statue has its hands around the hilt, then I assume.
Yes.
Okay. I am gonna try and use... I have a hammer and a chisel. Or, I'm sorry, a spike. I'm gonna see if I can loosen the sword out of the hammer.
Okay.
Like around the fingers.
As soon as you... Yeah. Sorry, you're still kind of breaking up a little bit. I think I hear what you're saying, though. As soon as you try to use the chisel, and you start seeing if you can break it up. You hit it once, and it jolts upward, and you realize that it's only loosely held in there. You could just like lift it up out of its hands.
All right. Well, we'll pick up out of its hands.
All
Hold
right.
it high.
You do that, and you have this moment like, I have the power, and you can feel this thing glow. This is clearly some powerful magical blade. Other than the sense that you want to find the biggest thing in the room and attack it, and that this obviously is a powerful sword, there is nothing happens.
Huh.
Are there any?
Okay. I thought.
Are there any places that we passed where we could enter the sword? Like as a, almost like a key of some sort, like a statue or something that looks like it would have a place for a sword to rest.
You did not see any places like that. It looks like this sword doesn't seem to do anything apart from it being this is a good sword. Apart from that, there doesn't seem to be anything that this does.
Okay. And we
How
spent
about
time.
Sorry, if I'm warbling still, just let me know. What about the room with all the inanimate objects? We saw. Well, you guys saw the skeleton standing out of one door or hallway, and you follow through the other hallway. So maybe the stairs are that way, from wherever they came from.
Did
Okay.
anyone get that?
Yeah,
So-
he said, and yeah, it's warbling pretty bad. But he said the dancing skeletons, they came from the opposite way that had a bunch of inanimate objects, and you all didn't go that way. So he said maybe the stairs are that way.
Could be.
Because didn't he say it was by the entrance, Sir Sir Chide. So I suppose we could check that way if there's nothing else in this room, because we just spent more time searching it and we didn't find anything else, right? So
Let's go to the hallway before the pummeling inanimate objects that yell profanities at us.
it sounds like a plan to me.
Okay, where do you go from here? So you have the direction back towards Sir Chide's cask, or you can go back into the circular room. Which way do you go?
I would say circular room if
Remember,
It's
keep your
cosmic.
eyes down, averted from the above. You don't want to become innate statue.
All right. What do you do? Just close your eyes? Because you're floating
I
on the
have to
ceiling?
close my eyes and kind of pull before we go into the next room. We can shorten up the amount of rope between me and Hannibal so I can get pulled into the room a lot easier.
Okay,
And
so
just close my eyes.
my question here would be, so you're all looking down except poor Cosmo.
Cosmo.
Do you follow the wall to the left or to the right? Or do you go straight out into the middle of the room? Because you're looking straight down at your feet, right?
Yeah. I mean, the following it to the left would be the quickest way, unless, excuse me, unless we wanted to kind of follow it to the right and see if there's anything we could feel that we may be able to come in contact with. What do you two think, Cosmo and Butterfingers?
Well, personally, I can't feel that greatly because I'm up in the air.
Right. She's bouncing around
And
the ceiling.
I have to keep my eyes 24/7 closed while we're in this room. Because if I try to look down at the ground, I might actually see walls and possibly something else and turn into a Nate statue.
Yeah. So go ahead. Feel free to make a call there, Hannibal. Which way? Left or right or straight ahead?
I say right.
Okay, very well. So you enter the room, your eyes cast downward, and Cosmo's eyes cast upward, and you feel along the right wall when all of a sudden it gives way, and you feel a damp upper part that slides downward, and you can see a dark area going down into some damp place.
Nice.
I should also note that poor long-nosed Nate is still just laying there on his side, a stone.
Oh man, long-nosed Nate sadly had to go.
Sorry, Nate. Beautiful. I mean, I think we should.
If we can get
check
out of
out.
this room, I can open my eyes, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. Oh dear. Hold on just a second. And hold on just a second.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Okay, so you start going down this damp, rocky staircase. It starts to feel cavernous, as if it were hewed out of the stone, and eventually you come into a vaulted chamber. And in this vaulted chamber, there's a statue of a maiden in the center of a pool. She's made of white marble with long flowing hair and a robe, a star on her brow. Let's see here. You see ghostly candles, dozens of them, floating in midair. And just sort of forming floating candles, just forming sort of a circle around the maiden. Cosmo, you feel the presence of something ageless here, something deep in your nature about this place.
Something seems... How do you say it? Off but familiar to me about this. I'm gonna be trying out 2 other languages I know to see if something does happen.
Okay.
I'm going to say hello in Halfling.
Okay, nothing happens.
Wait. And then hello in Fae / Sylvan.
Nothing happens.
Okay. That's not the response. It's not detected by word, so that's good.
All right. Butterfingers, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I don't know if this is any better now.
That was nice and clear.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, so
Awesome.
far. Yeah. Well, what does Butterfingers do?
He looks to Hannibal and says, "Well, there's no body. How about you try putting the ring against that statue and see what happens?"
Sure. I think we should be cautious with it. We don't know. We don't know for certain that this may be trapped or something. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think, we're gonna have to do that. So I know last time I kept saying cautiously. So I'm just gonna.
You're allowed to say it. It's cool. I just think it's fun.
We always have to have caution.
It's funny because it's very much implied, but it makes me feel better. Like,
I know we are cautious, but extra cautious by saying cautious.
yes, exactly. So I'll go over and I'm gonna keep my head kind of down too, just to be safe. Like I'm not gonna look the statue in the eye, but I'll take the ring from Sir Chide and I'll place it on the statue if I'm able to.
Okay, so you see Hannibal. You hear trickling water. It's a kind of a watery cavern. Is what it feels like down here. And you hear Hannibal, his feet splashing. His boots in the water to get to the statue, and then he's holding the ring, and he steps beyond the candles, and you just see Hannibal and disappear.
Oh no.
Hannibal
I
is
shortened my
gone.
rope to be able to be pulled through the hallways easier.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you're being pulled, so you just
Yeah.
and then Butterfingers, you see Cosmo disappear because she gets pulled in. You're now in the dark, unless you're a demi-human. I don't think you are. Yeah, you're a thief, right?
I am a halfling.
I'm that thief. I ready my new sword and walk in and see where it takes us.
And you all have this sense of religious awe. And the scene changes from a dark, watery cavern to one of an outdoor scene and a white tower on an island, a frozen lake. You would start back here on this path. And you see a path leading through a snowy wood, leading out into that clearing where there is a white tower in the distance.
Oh. So may I grab some of the soil and smell it?
You do. You smell some of the soil, and it has it smells like pristine, clean, crunchy snow, as if spring water were then cast into snowflake. It is bitter cold here. You can't help but shiver. You can see your breath condensing in streams coming out of your mouth. The snow is 2 feet deep in places. You can see tracks, larger than human boot prints, leading from the tower to the woods and back. And you can see snowflakes gently drifting down around you. A sparkling sunshine glints off the crystalline snow. So,
I think
and I'm sorry, this also is important. Cosmo, as soon as you pass through, and you have that sense of awe, and you see this snowy scene, you fall onto your feet, normal again.
Well, that's fixed. But I still want the tether just in case something might happen again. Is that possible to still keep the tether handle just in
It's
case?
attached to you.
yeah, I'm okay with that, Cosmo. I think we have to be super, super cautious here.
That's awesome. All right, so what do you do?
I say we get walking
Okay,
towards the
Right.
tower.
you do.
While we walk towards the tower, can Cosmo's gang occasionally pick up a few like medium to small size stones?
Okay,
for
yeah,
sling?
you pick up some stones. On my VTT, let me kind of zoom it out, and there's some other things once you kind of leave the tree line that you can see about this place. First of all, on the frozen lake in the clearing, there is indeed a narrow, slender, tall stone tower of white marble. You can see a solid door, polished cherry wood with black iron fittings, on the first floor, right in the middle of it, down at the bottom. You can see frost pattern windows on multiple floors up above, probably 2 or 3 floors. A plume of smoke as well, drifting off up above it. And in the sky is a jagged wound as if tore open by a weapon. And in the perfect, pristine sunlight of the snowy sky, you can see a pulsing purple wound and stuff dripping, sticky purple drips falling to the snow around you, staining the snow. The forest here is a fir wood that's also heavy and fat with snow, and yeah, that's what you see here. This is in the sky. This thing right here.
Interesting. That looks like the same thing we saw in the crypt. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but we may want to keep close eye to that in case we. I don't know. Oh, you said that's in the sky, so we can't like jump in there if we needed to. So, Butterfinger and Cosmo, what are you thinking? Do you think we should go right or left or straight? What do you think?
I personally stay on track and head towards whatever entrance we can find. But due to the ice, we might want to be very, very cautious. So you never know how thin it can be.
Right.
And with that, something happens.
Oh.
You have slight garbled.
Yeah.
You see a sleigh off this a ways. Coming from a break in the tree line, it rushes toward the entrance. Some sort of small green man, like some lumpy mutated man, is whipping 4 white stags. The sleigh is filled with bags of many things and a cauldron of steaming soup. Some humanoid type people, much like yourself, except oddly thin and stretched, kind of slender manish, and with pointy ears come out, and they start unloading things from the sleigh. They don't seem to see you yet. Whoops, I'll pan back. What do you do? Keeping in mind that doing nothing is also very risky. But what I mean is, as we wait, time passes and then things happen.
Well, the fact that they have soup, I mean, is a good sign. They're bringing it to somebody else. Doesn't really seem... That's not like something... That's not an attribute I would associate with like a malicious person. But we are outsiders. And if they happen to find us, it's going to look sketchy that we're just hanging out here hidden. So I think that our choices are announce ourselves or not. I want to say hi. That's what I think. But we could take a vote on it if you'd like, or do something different.
Let's do it. Let's vote. So then, Butterfingers, what do you think? Yay or nay?
Yay. Let's greet them.
All right, that's a majority. So you stride out into the snow, and immediately the green little man on the sleigh starts yelling at you in some strange language. Does anyone speak any strange languages?
Is it Sylvan by chance?
It is. You recognize it. He says, "You lazy morons! What are you doing? Start moving stuff in. What are you doing out in the woods? Are you out frolicking and playing again? This is no time for that."
I'm going to shout over in Sylvan saying, "I'm sorry, sir, but we came from somewhere else and we're trying to deliver something to Sir Chide's beloved."
Don't say that. That's a terrible joke. It's 500 years too soon for that. Now listen, stop lazing about and get this stuff in here. The guests are awaiting their food.
I'm sorry, but my other two companions won't be able to understand you. I'm the only one who can relay back to them what's going on.
Do they have
I'm
arms?
sorry about this. Yes, they do.
Then lift the boxes and get them inside. Go, move it.
I'm going to go back to Woldish to tell the other two. Okay, it seems like they speak almost Fae/Sylvan, from what I can tell, and we have to help them out with carrying this stuff in. And supposedly, when I asked him about Sir Chide's lover, he said it's 500 years too early.
What if we ask him about the Cold Prince, or the Cold Prince's daughter?
Okay. Let's just start moving things, then I'll ask that question to them. Do keep kind of somewhat quiet when we do get over there, is I'm going to be the only one who can communicate to them if you guys don't know Sylvan.
Okay. Sounds good. You should take lead on this.
Okay.
Several of the elves have come out. They take boxes, they carry them in, and then it looks like they're going to wait. The goblin's on the sleigh. He's waiting for people to come in and out, and he just like glares at you, like waiting for you to get stuff and bring it inside.
I'm going to go back to speaking so. Sorry, I just had to confirm with my companions what we're doing, that's all. They are a bit not used to speaking, of course, Sylvan.
That doesn't make any sense. All elves speak Sylvan. You're testing my patience. Now go, get the boxes inside now.
I indicated to the other two to come along.
Okay.
To get the boxes and start carrying them in.
All right, you start carrying the boxes in, and let me see here. Let me actually Oh, okay. I think it's already set. You, in the frigid cold, you push open this beautiful door, and you find yourself in a. Well, let me describe it for you, and what you see here. It's beautiful. There's like a cherry wood floor that's polished. There are garlands of white roses and pale blue forget-me-nots hung around the room with ribbons. Winter hats and coats, boots and ice skates are all lined up neatly along shoe racks and bulging from hooks along the walls. There's a fireplace melting icicles burning with electric blue flames. You smell the delicious aroma of baking coming from a nearby room. You can also see, and actually I guess messed this up. Let me fix it. And I also need this one. You see, I think 2 doors. No, just 1 door. You see 1 door here that leads further in. You can smell food from in on the other side of that. But the most obvious thing that you see in this room is a hulking, clay-like humanoid figure. And as if riding a palanquin on its back, a scrawny little rider. Let me see if I can show you what this looks like. There's the big boy. And on his back is a scrawny, weird-looking little rider that's riding him on his back. And the big hulking figure sees you come in, and he's like, "Oh, boss, look, there's some new elves." And then the little guy on his back is like,
You fool. These aren't elves. These are interlopers. They're not guests at all. Why, I could raise the alarm and the Frost Knights could be down here in a moment and we would have entertainment.
And then the big hulking guy's like, "Oh, I don't know. They've got squishy looking skin and they're kind of little and they look like elves." And then the little guy's like,
You're a moron. These are not elves. They are some sort of thieves or blackguards or something like that. You, who are you?
he points at you.
I'm getting a step slightly forward, saying, "Excuse me, first, where do we put these boxes? Because my compatriots don't understand you guys. Well, I only can understand you."
I see. Well, you may have fooled that moron outside, but you'll not fool me.
I do
know
understand that.
you don't belong
not-
here.
We came here to deliver something to the Ice King's daughter. Or his daughter.
You come from the overworld. You're truly foolish. This is so entertaining. I'll make a deal with you.
What would that be?
I won't let the Frost Elves, the Frost Knights know you're here and you won't die. But,
And he pulls out a bag, this like earthy, mossy looking bag. He's like,
one of you must eat from my magic bag of mushrooms.
Let me relay what the deal is to my other compatriots real quick. So, okay, I'm gonna look over at them too and speak in hushed wolvish. Okay, here's the dealio. If we don't want to get caught, one of us has to eat out of that dude's mushroom bag. And high chance one of us will either get poisoned, have a weird effect going on, or just all of the above. And if we don't, he'll call the Frost Guards on us, and we can be in a spot of trouble.
Okay. Or we could try to intimidate this character, this very mischievous character, and pretend that we're more important than
I
than
already
we appear.
tried to, was it saying we're delivering something to the Ice Princess daughter, or
Well,
King's daughter, one of the two, if I remember right.
It seems
what if we
clear to you
say
that every time you bring that up, it's like a huge faux pas. Like if you talk about like the Cold Prince or how he's his daughter or Sir Chide, that's like the biggest scandal that you could probably bring up. Most of them have been dismissive of it in a way that's like, oh, you're trying to tell a bad joke or something.
Here's the thing, on top of it all, what I'm saying and asking for this particular person, they think it's a joke. Every single time I talk about it. Trying to get more information.
right? I mean, so it looks like they're like this little guy likes a deal. Maybe we could trade him something else that we have instead of eating this stuff. Or, I mean, if somebody needs to eat it, I'll eat it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we could do to
I'll see.
avoid it.
I turn back around to the the duo. Excuse me, is there a chance we can forego the bag of mushrooms if possible via trade of our security, and you thus get something of thus value to be able to secure our security while being here?
No. Also, the Frost Elves will be coming back down for more boxes in only a matter of moments. If you don't
Yes,
accept
I do understand.
my help soon, they'll be here any moment. Oh, this is delightful.
Okay.
I hope you're added to the soup.
Okay. Turn back to the group. Hannibal, it looks like you're going to have to be eating a mushroom. And beware, you might, depending on what mushroom you get, you might be added to the soup.
Oh. And I look over at the little guy and I say, "You're a bad man." Very aware that he can't understand me. And I walk up, looking him in the eye, and I put out my hand and I say, give me the mushroom. I'll do it.
I switch over to him and says, back to Sylvan. Please proceed to give him mushroom at random.
Roll a d12, Hannibal. See what mushroom you get.
All right, D12. 4.
You take a mushroom that looks like a bulb, and then with something sticking out the bottom of it. The bulb is like a glossy white, and you take it, and then as soon as you hold it up, the stem starts to kind of move a little bit, and you eat it.
Yes.
Okay, you eat the mushroom, and after a moment, all of a sudden your eyes just go, and then you can't see, and you look around, or you don't look around, but like your companions, they look at you, and they don't see eye sockets, they just see like flesh here, and your eyes are gone, and the little guy on top of the big guy, he's like, "Oh, that was a great one. I love that one. Okay, if you don't want to die or be added to the soup, you should put on their winter clothes so that they cannot tell that you're intruders.
and I will tell no one.
Thank you. Go back and forwards. We have to put on some winter clothes so we can blend in. And looks like I'm gonna have to be leading you for a while, Hannibal, because you now have flesh sockets instead of eyes.
Cosmo, can you please ask him if my eyes will come back at some point,
I
or
will.
is this okay?
Excuse me, how long does this last, if possible? If it wears off, so my compatriot knows approximate if he gets his eyesight back.
Well, I think until it happens, you'll just have to give him a hand.
Okay. But which way to the winter clothing?
They're all along racks that you can see along the wall here. If you start to lead Hannibal, you all of a sudden feel like like a bump on his hand as something slimy presses against your hand.
I'm gonna be leading him by the rope, seeing what happened to his eyes.
And then all of a sudden, Hannibal, you can
Come on.
see out of your hands. You have eyeballs on your hands now.
Hannibal, come on. Bart, come on. We gotta get the winter clothing on so we can blend in.
At this, the goblin from outside yells at you all and is like, Take the food upstairs, you morons!
We will in a sec. Just give us a moment. We're underdressed, as you can tell. We weren't very prepared when we came here. We didn't get the memo in time, as you can tell.
All right. Yeah, okay, so you get winter clothes and you put them on, scarves and big thick jackets and stuff to cover your head, and probably something to try to cover Hannibal's eyes, and then Hannibal, you're gonna have to try to use your hands, every so often, try to see what's going on, and maybe carry something in one hand and like hold the other one up or something. I don't know, and eventually, frost elves, they come from the adjoining room, and they come past you, and they start going outside to get more stuff, and then some of them eventually pass you, and the goblin yells at you again. He's like, "You lazy lugabouts, get the stuff up to the dining room."
Yes, we're going. Come on,
Okay.
you two. Grab the crates, come on. Through the doors up the stairs, from what we can tell.
Okay, well, if you go through the door, the next thing you see here is a kitchen. It smells really wonderful in here, and there are pots of bubbling broth. There's a chubby, shorter and stouter looking elf woman with pearly eyes and blue skin. You notice now that all of the elf type people here are quite beautiful, except for they all do seem to have almost kind of blue skin. And she seems flustered but orderly, and she says the same thing. She's like, hurry up and get the things to the feast. You're taking so long. The guests are waiting for their wine." And you see
Yes.
a fireplace here, and cast iron stove, and a pantry.
I'm going to try to kind of hurry us along and okay, this tell in Wolfish, kind of hush to the other two. This looks like a pantry / kitchen area, but we still have to get going because we have to deliver this food to the main dining area.
Okay.
Then I go back to her. Excuse me, we didn't get the memo of where to place it. I'm sorry.
She says,
kinda
"Go
new
up
to
the
this."
stairs, please."
Okay, thank you. Usher
And-
the two to follow.
Okay. You go up the stairs, and the next thing you see is whoops. Let me pan the camera and roll 20. There we go. You see a wedding feast. You see a feasting table completely bedecked with luxurious provender. Roasted swans, stuffed in their mouths with blackbirds, mountains of fruit dripping with syrups, ice wines chilling in buckets, and violet spirits in crystal decanters. There are blue-skinned elves and various finery sitting about the table, stoically eating and drinking with one another. You see that there are 5 knights here. They're clearly knights, proud, haughty, wearing plate mail, lances at their sides. Nobles, clearly, from their decadent and foppish, dabbing handkerchiefs to their mouths and dressed in flouncy silk and lace. And the whole affair is uncomfortably subdued, at least by human standards. Everyone quietly sipping wine. It seems as if this goes on forever and ever and ever. You see 4 guards standing respectfully. And then you see, lastly, a staircase continuing on up to a final 3rd level.
Do I see where all the other crates of going in and out were being dropped off at?
Yeah, you actually see that they're being opened and the provender is being refilled on the tables. And they're actually setting out the tables, the servants are.
Okay. Let's go drop off the boxes and head back out. And as we do back and forth a few times, we will keep a scan out and keep your eyes literally peeled for the lovely lady.
Okay.
We have to go off of her portrait picture from what we can tell, or the statue.
Yeah.
So we can end up giving her thus the ring.
So you do that, and you help, and you work, and you sweat, and you bring stuff up, and you set food out, and it seems as if this would go on until your muscles would give way. The elves, on the other hand, don't seem to be getting tired, and the elves at the dining table who eat and drink and eat and drink, they neither tire nor swell. They don't seem to be overeating, but they eat whatever's put out in front of them. They drink the wine when it's put out. And they maintain that eerie stoicism, waiting, calmly, quietly, almost no conversation. It is much too subdued to normally be a dinner. And no one comes or goes. It seems like this activity that you're caught in of setting out the food and carrying it in from the goblin sleigh goes on forever. Butterfingers, what are you doing what do you think about this situation? But you don't see the princess. She doesn't seem to make an appearance.
No, we don't see the princess. What if... Have we seen any other, stairs leading up?
Mm-hmm.
There is another set.
You see stairs leading down and stairs leading up. So 2 spiral staircases from this level where the feast is taking place.
I would say let's perform our duties, but try and inch our way up those stairs. Make sure nobody's watching us as we try. Because if the princess is not down here, she is either up in her chambers, or if we go off what Sir Chide has said, she is down below, if there may be a tomb.
You didn't see any indication that there was anything below the tower or any way down. And the tower is a 30-foot diameter tower. So the entire room is not that far across. There are 4 plate mail clad frost knights watching the ways up to the stairs and the feast. So if you're trying to find a way up, what would you do?
Well, we're just going to have to cause a distraction.
All right.
What if Cosmo and Hannibal, you two are tethered together? What if I cause a distraction that buys you two enough time to go up the stairs?
It should work, but I would advise to do it in the kitchen/pantry area, thus making the guards have to go down, and thus leaving us more
Yes,
opportunity to
that's
go up.
exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. Let me move your token. I have Long-Nosed Nate here, and I know it's not Long-Nosed Nate, but... and I'm going to give you a light just so people can see what you're doing. Emits a bright light for 30 feet. And also has vision, and also I'll make it so everybody can see your token. There we go. Now everybody should see it. Okay, so now you go back downstairs, and down the stairs into the kitchen. And meanwhile, they're waiting, you know, for you to cause a distraction, trying to set out more wine, more food, waiting. You come down to the kitchen. These elves, they'll have gone, and there's just one elf here, and she's busily working at the kitchen. She sees you, and she snaps at you and says something in a language you don't understand. I'm sorry, that was loud. And she says, you know, something in some tinny, garbling, weird alien language at you. What do you do? You can see a fireplace here, melting icicles
the
burning.
best distraction I could think of is a...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Bart Allen tear off of his disguise and pull out his newly found longsword.
Oh, wow.
And exclaim, "Here is I, Sir Chide, looking for my beloved. Take me to her."
She screams, of course, in some alien language, but you know what it is she says. Of course, she's saying guards. And meanwhile, up above, everyone at the table seems like they don't respond when you hear Cosmo and Sylvan, someone yelling guards, but the guards do respond. And they grab their weapons, and they head downstairs to face Butterfingers. Butterfingers.
Let's get moving quickly while he still is available.
Yeah, you start trying to make your way over, and then
No. I heard them hit one of the other elves yelled guard and Sylvan.
Let me see if you have your new token here. He deserves a good death. Butterfingers does. Yes, you do have a new token, so let me give you your new token instead. We deserve to, because he's going to be added to the Otherworld roll of honor, of course. Butterfingers, roll a d6 for initiative. You have to beat a 4.
I got a 5.
Butterfingers, you may act first. 4 of these Frost Guard knights with spears and lances leap at you from down the stairs with an unnatural alien grace.
I'm going to grab a... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and flip over the prepping table and use it as a barricade against them.
All right, yeah, you do that. That won't take your action. You flip the table over to create a barricade, and it sends 3 of them reeling backwards, just like in a Jackie Chan movie. And they get pushed back by this table. What else do you do? There's one off that's still by himself.
I'm going to slash at him with my new sword
All
while
right.
the others are still reeling.
Roll to attack, and including your regular bonus, you also have a +2 to hit and damage. It's a +2 magic sword.
Oh, I got a +2 to hit. I got a 17 to hit.
17 hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. D6 for swords. I do 7 points of damage.
You slice open one of the Frostguard knights. His blue blood splatters against the wall, and the three others start pushing back against the table. Meanwhile, I'm going to do one more round. These three are going to get to try to pull off the table. Two of them take their round to do that. They push the table to the side. One of them rushes up to try to attack you. He does a nat 20. A nat 20
Ooh.
attacks with a spear with a d6 for 6 points of damage. Still up?
Bart has fallen.
You feel an elven, ancient, otherworldly spear pierce your chest, and your veins turn to ice, and you start to freeze over into a timeless ice statue by the curse of a fairy spear. Your ice, or your vision, starts to blur as these are the last things you see. Meanwhile, in the moments that he has bought you, whoops, I'm in the wrong one. You go up the stairs. You two go up the stairs?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay. You
As soon
see,
as we heard the word of guard, I instantly was saying, Hannibal, we gotta go.
you see a bedchamber and a beautiful, ageless, and otherworldly woman with blonde hair, the color of the winter sun, pale skin scintillating like fresh snow, and blue crystalline eyes, clad in white, a floaty gown, and a star on her brow, a flashing crystal, bound in silver cord. She is regal, dignified, and benevolent, but also a look of eternal sadness on her face.
Hannibal, quick bow. Our
I,
respects.
I bow.
Looks like
I do like a slight curtsy bow.
this. Princess Snowfall at dusk. And she says, strangers, this is exciting. And mortals as well. Mortal visitors from the overworld.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but if you are who we think you are, we have something from Sir Chide for you.
My love. She glides over towards you with a weird alien glide as if not even stepping.
Hannibal, sure.
And I go in my pocket and I take out the ring and I hold it out to her with my head down.
She
Still
slowly reaches for the ring. As she does so, she says, my father cursed me to never leave this glade. I was bound for eternity in this tower unless I would renounce my love for Chide. I would never do it.
We brought back...
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
We brought him to you. He wanted you to have this. With his last spectral knowns that we ran into.
She takes the ring, and with the ring, the spirit of Sir Chide appears again. And they look at each other briefly, and then they embrace. He becomes flesh here in the other world. And they kiss. And she says, You have given us the greatest gift other than our very love itself. And you have turned my father's curse on its head. For now, by his very curse, I am bound here forever with my love. I cannot imagine how I could ever thank you across several eternities.
We just want to do something on the behalf of something good. And my dear friend Hannibal, supposedly, of course, families and families along generations, in the overworld, he owns the land that we came through gateway-wise to. And we went through the, was it a mound, a fey mound, to get here. And in that mound, it turns out to be Sir, what was his name again?
Sir Chide?
Sir Chide's tomb. And when he was in his spectral form, he asked us to bring him with us via by the ring. And thus, you guys are now united. We only want to be able to get back to where we were beforehand.
Cosmo, on that, with that, I'm not. If maybe you could just throw in a mention that we're not we do want them to be reunited, but we're also not opposed to getting rightfully rewarded for
Yes, I do understand that.
because we did lose like 2 people doing this, and we're in a foreign
lose 2 friends
land.
along the way, trying to get to the bottom of all this mystery of thus my friend's Hannibal's land. We lost.
Outside from this point in the tower, from her bedchamber, there is a kind of bay. One of the windows that you saw from outside, it has a snowfall. What do you call a snowflake patterned window, and you can see from outside of it that jagged wound in the sky with the purple and and it dripping goo down from the sky. You can see it actually like closing, as it seems the wound between the other world and the real world is closing. And she says, there isn't much time. Let's see here.
Is it possible that you could possibly bring back one of those 2 friends we had?
Yes,
the one
she
that
says
that came with us had to do the distraction, so we can at least present you with the ring, and thus unite you and Sir Chad together.
She says, I am imbued with fairy power that is eternal. I can grant to one person in all of eternity a single wish. I can only do this once. I will give this to you freely.
Thank you.
Is that what you wish? For them to be brought back to life?
Yes.
Is this? I think we should talk about it. We could, if we have like one wish for anything, there's probably a way we could get them back to life, and then like some other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, what if our one wish is that one of us is granted the power to bring people back from death?
She frowns when you say that. And she's like, I cannot grant the power I have to others. It can only be used once. Use it well.
Okay.
You both have to agree upon it.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just hold on to that wish for, like a rainy day. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
You don't know if we can get in connection to it once
the like connection to the real world is closing, and you have like seconds to decide.
You have to hurry, Hannibal.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd
Yeah,
rather bring back life than being left.
Fine, I agree.
Nate is a good pal of ours, and Bart is supposedly a pal of Nate's, let's at least get them back together so we can at least celebrate at a tavern.
Fine. I agree. Let's bring
One
him
quick last
back.
question.
Yes.
Sir Chide,
Yes, my lady.
Everything in your tomb is technically what used to be your land, but through families and whatnot, Hannibal has gotten the deed for it and everything like that. By
He-
chance, the mound / tomb is now under Hannibal's jurisdiction.
Yeah, he smiles at you and he says, I have found an eternity of peace and pleasure, free of those things that bind me to the mortal world. I only wish for you that you may someday have that. Anything there is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that's clarified. So we won't be breaking any spiritual laws if it comes to it.
Thank you, Sir Chide.
She also offers you all the jewels in her cupboard, of which there are many. That alone would make you more wealthy than anyone you probably know. And then, just as before, you see, your vision fade in the watery cavern. It fades again, and you find yourself under a moonlit night. You find yourself with your companions outside of a burial mound full of treasure.
Bart, Nate, we did it.
And I'll also show you the dolmen wood where you are. And that ends the adventure as you have reunited Sir Chide to his love forever and freed them from their mortal bonds, their binds, and his tomb full of treasure is yours, and you find no more dancing skeletons, no jelly wounds, no bizarre beasts, no attacking sacred objects. It is simply a still and quiet tomb. And that ends the adventure.